So in the first video, we proved three things. One, this system, it works, it's portable, and it is simple. There's absolutely no digging holes. There's no permanent posts, right? There's no concrete in the ground. But what you didn't see was the other 90% of the structure. Now, most people think that this is just 4 posts and a tarp, but it is not. This is a modular shade system designed to scale, designed to move, and designed to work with the environment instead of kind of fighting it. And if you're thinking about building something like this in your backyard, your garden, your property, pay attention to the base system, because that is where most people get it wrong. So today, I'm going to be breaking down the whole thing, how big it actually is, how does it stand alone without having any holes dug, how big it actually is, how it stays standing without digging holes, how I would improve if I were to build this again, and there are a couple of things that I wished I would have done, and how I'm turning this into a smaller, kind of a backyard version in one of my next videos. So let's take a walk around the full structure. So roughly, this is about, give or take 70 feet going from the front all the way to the back, 70 feet that way, 70 feet this way, with a center yard structure that we have. And we do a lot of events out here. We'll do a kind of a country hoedown, we'll do our Halloween event, we'll do a variety of different things that we do out here. And this is kind of a gathering place. Altogether, there are, including barrels and posts, 26 throughout. So as you look at the grand nature of this build out, please understand this, you don't have to do all of it. I fear some of you might feel like, I can't do that big of a structure, therefore I'm going to click off. Consider this. This is kind of like an adult version of a Lego set. You don't have to make it huge and grand. You could simply just do 2 different sections. So please, if you're thinking about something like this, stick with me as we get through this video, because I'm going to show you that it really is a lot easier than you think to do something like this. I want to show you some of the modularity of a system like this. You can see behind me where there's a larger, almost like a ranch gate opening where you can see the truck, and that's where oftentimes we have a big trailer that backs up to that spot, and that just allows for us to bring, for our big events, we can bring things in there. Now, if we take a look at some of the pillars, one, they all have this tabletop on it that we've done, which I think is kind of nice because it gives you something to set your drinks down, your food down, whatever you really need for it. Now, in the first video, we really talked about this specific area here. You can see actually right now it's tied up. It's the winter time. We just don't use it as much in the winter time. So you can see how it's tied up, but in that original video, this is where I'm opening it, right? Camera's out there just to give you guys kind of a little bit of an idea of where we're at. And I just showed just this one section, right? And again, a lot of you think 4 posts and a tarp and that was it. But the bigger picture is so much more grander than that. So as you can see, we've got the structure going up and around. That is now connected. Now start to come this way if you don't mind, Mom. So as you look at it, right, all of a sudden now, we've got another structure that's connected to it. And again, we can have vehicles back up into here, back up into there, back up into here. And again, you can see the structure. There's a bay here. There's another bay right here. There's another bay where Braun is at, just by where over kind of like Dad is. And then again, you can see bay, bay, bay. So there's all these different bays that we have. And again, this is why I think it's such a brilliant system on so many different levels, because one, these barrels are removable. I can take this thing down within a day. I have nothing actually buried in the ground whatsoever. So let's do this. I had a couple things that I wanted to make sure that I went over, because in the last video, there's a lot of questions on how we actually did this. So come on over here, follow me if you don't mind, Mom. We're gonna come this way. And hey, if you haven't seen it, check out the video on these chairs. These have been absolutely awesome. These things are so heavy, no one's gonna steal these. They're phenomenal. But if you wanna see how to make these out of just recycled tires, or even the Viking chair, these things have been fantastic for out here. So again, if you come on over here, what I wanted to show you is this one didn't have the tabletop built, and I wanted to just kind of show you the structure. One, there's 2 things to realize with this. As you come up close and actually go down the barrel here, you're gonna see that we have the concrete there's 2 bags of concrete with the water mixed into this. Now, one thing that's really important to remember is right here you can see this hole. You're going to want to have that because when it rains, this thing will fill up to the top, and this is a great way for mosquitoes to be breeding, etc. So do these little puncture holes that are just kind of drain lines, and then you're going to notice that most of the time you'll have just this 4x4 post, but we also have another one that's going on the main structure that goes up over top of the center, right? And then all I've done is taken the top, I've kind of wedged in, cut that out, and you can use an angle grinder for that. There's a lot of different ways to kind of cut that. And then of course, then the top, right, these wood style tops that you see right here, then you put that just over top of it, okay? Now, again, that's all that it is. It is simply a barrel. Now, keep in mind, if you're looking for kind of a little tip on where to get barrels, almost any recycle place will have them. I picked up some of mine for $10 a piece. Now, here's a way to possibly get them for free. If you look at, like, let's say Sherwin-Williams, the paint stores, they sell these containers which are traditionally full of acetone. So they will sell them to a lot of painting places. So if you have any local shops, I got some free ones also from a concrete coatings place here in town. I got them for free from them. They're actually looking. If you haul them, they'll give them away. So it's a great opportunity to do that. You just want to make sure that you clean them out really well so that if you are going to use them for this, but then also going to have some dirt and some plants in it, you don't want all that acetone with this. Just make sure that you clean it out really, really well as far as that's concerned. Okay. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the shade structure. That seemed to be one of the other questions. I will have a link for the shade structure that I used in this particular build so that you can see it. I think 2 things. One, I wanted to have something that was absolutely going to be waterproof, if you will, and this is just that. Now, again, in the winter time, I just wrap them up. I originally had wanted to create an encasement for them, and but what we've done is we've just they're wrapped right now so the wind doesn't get them. But if I wanted them, I just would remove that and then I would pull it right out and it would work great as far as that's concerned. So no real issues there. I would say this, one, for a lot of people that are thinking about doing this at their home, I think that a 55-gallon drum would maybe be a little bit overkill. I love the idea and I love the concept. I actually don't think it looks that bad. I think you could paint these whatever colors that you want. But I think that if you wanted to go with something a little bit smaller, you absolutely could do that. You know, these cedar planter boxes I think would be a great fix. I don't think you have to do these 4x4 posts. You could use galvanized steel like for chain link fence poles. Those could be another great option for you to do. All right, so there are a couple things that I really do want you to know because one, I know that from the original video, there's a lot of you that said that you were going to try this and there are a few things that I would do differently. So I hope this part is helpful. One, these 4x4 posts, where the wood meets the concrete, right, that is a moisture trap for these particular, on any fence structure. So if you're building a fence, this is going to apply to that. There is a what's called a rot block, and I'll show you that. So this is a rot block. It wraps around the base, and you're supposed to put it where the post meets the concrete, right? So where it comes to the air. Again, you're just going to have moisture accumulation. Why does that matter? It matters because it protects that area, which is almost always where your poles are going to fail, is in that spot. Now, the other thing that I would do is on the top of all of these posts, they do a cross-sectional cut, and where those are, because of that cut, you're more susceptible to just a lot of moisture accumulation. Just throw up an easy plastic cap. You can get them on Amazon. In fact, I'll try to link some down below, but you could put them on top. It'll just increase the life of the pole itself, right? So these are expensive and can be expensive, anywhere between $20 to $30 per pole, depending upon how long that you want to go up with it. You can see here, this is a pretty lengthy pole going all the way up, right? It's not your standard 8-foot pole, but we wanted that because it creates a little bit more of a grander nature. Now, one thing before I move on, when we talk about that rot block and those caps, that can extend the life of the pole by anywhere up to 5 to 10 years. Now that's a significant savings. And again, I just had a fence topple down on me, so an extra 5 to 10 years would have been super nice. So definitely check that out. Now, but what I want you to also see is up top, we have all these Edison lights that go around the top of it. So when we are having an event at night especially, and those are on, it just creates this rustic backyard, barnyard hoedown that I just absolutely love. Now, for those that are thinking about doing this in kind of a windier area, one thing to consider is a lot of people, at least in the initial one, had talked about, is it strong? Does it endure, right? One of the things I'll tell you, the primary strength structure is because of all of these linkage pieces, right? Now, you see a lot of videos that'll have the pole, and then they'll have the shade between it, but nothing connecting them. And almost all of them inevitably end up having a linkage, and that's so important. That's why this structure is so stable. These linkage parts between this pole and that pole, that pole and that pole, that pole, right? That's what gives it its strength for it. It is very, very durable. In fact, go ahead and check this out, Mom, right? So when I think about like that, I'm literally, sure, of course, can you move it a little bit? But the reality is that is just very durable, and again, it's that linkage that gives it that strength. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing in another video coming up is I'm going to be doing a smaller scale of this for a courtyard that we have in our backyard, so you could get another idea of making it, because I know that this rustic flair that a lot of people maybe don't care for, well, this rustic flair might be too much. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of kind of a user-friendly to the generic DIYer. So that'll be in one of the next videos kind of coming up. But hey, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you guys will. It really means a lot to a channel like this. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much.